Welcome to another amazing episode on Ravin Vision. I have a special guest in my studio today. Shalom Little is going to be ringing my doorbell at any moment now. And look, welcome. How are you?
I'm feeling blessed and highly favored. How about you?
It's always a beautiful day in the studio. So today we're going to be doing some photos, videos,
Freestyle.
with the freestyle. And then also hopefully we can get into a little bit more about who you are and about your music, but the man behind the music. All right.
Yo, being a pro, my profession. Processions for that progression. Feet shuffle on streets, trying to be a king. Like Martin, a fish born in the stream. No Lawrence, looking for my blue streak. Trying to lose this blue streak. Seek and ye shall find. Find and ye shall seek. For another peak, week after week. Leaving girls week after weeks. But a nigga still can't find peace. Sheesh, day in the life of the flesh in which we cling. My soul's a child, I just wanna sing. You ain't even gotta be my best friend, cause my best friend ain't the next man.
I got the gray backdrop set up. Shalom is ready to shoot. We're about to do some photos. I have the strobe set up with a dish instead of a softbox because I'm trying to get more of a spotlight effect. And I'm using my Rebel T6 as usual, so let's get into it.
Fuck H&M, I got love, no hate in him. You on day 1, I'm on day 3000. Ain't nothing funny with no money, so why you smiling? I tell a nigga one time, man, cause I got that one thing money ain't buying. Ain't buying. Niggas floss in the bucket like crustaceans. Tryna post by the money like ATMs. I get fresh. Fuck H&M, I got love, no hate in him. Niggas floss in the bucket like crustaceans. Tryna post by the money like ATMs. I get fresh. Fuck H&M, I got love, no hate in him.
Hustle and motivate, got on Nipsey blues. Bullets got no name, gypsies get hit too. I was a vagabond, no longer could carry on.
She said she didn't want to keep it. Look at God, looking back at me. I guess I'm looking odd. I judge my parents' flaws. Now I guess we even. Apparently kill offspring, not ready for that season. But fuck it, getting jiggy for the summertime. 100 popsicles licked down by 100 dimes. You do the math, that's only worth a blunt allowed. And quiet is kept only around to be aroused. Shit, I stare up at the sky to search for heaven through the clouds. Then I came, now I'm going back with the crowd. And yeah, we gon' party and pray for repentance. Never know when you see the period of a death sentence. Summarize your life, being black in America. Persecution been common before Erica. Some use that as an excuse to blame their errors for. But who am I to blame? Been living in this terror more. We slaves with a state ID. Been wanting government aid without the HIV. But all of this is just made to keep us chained by our feet. And shout to have no faith in me to hold us down if they creep. Shit, she said she didn't want to keep it. Look at God, looking back at me. This mirror or mirage? It's for my unborn child. Yep. You know, Tupac had this song that came out a long time ago called Letter to My Unborn Child. So that was where the immediate reference was. But I definitely wanted to kick perspective of like a little bit of like what's going on in the world and, you know, the challenges at that time, you know, being like a single black man living in this ratchlano world, you know, with no kids. So like, you know, it was just a message to my unborn child that, you know, there's still deep thought and consideration of like the greater spiritual warfare that's going on in the world.
Right. And you have a kid. He's about to be how old now?
My son is Zir. We call him Ace. He's about to be 3. And I do have a child on the way. So now I do have an unborn child.
Yeah. When did you write this verse?
2015.
Oh, wow. So this was even before Zir was born?
Yeah.
Wow. Powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, so what else do you want to talk about when it comes to being a black man in hip hop in 2020, post-pandemic? I mean, I guess we still
all right. I'm glad you said it like that, post-pandemic, because, man, the power of speech. We take for granted. We are so like unaware of like how the words that we spell out really come to light. The words that we spell out and that we say really do dictate the direction that our life goes into. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say, like, through my like previous releases, solo, group, crew wise, what I've noticed is like certain things that I talked about struggling with or just being exposed to ended up manifesting itself and becoming more of my reality. So I would just say, for better or worse, as a black man in this hip hop culture, growing up in Metro Atlanta and just having all these different experiences, to recognize the God within and that we have power to do anything that we want to. It's really like mind over matter.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely believe in creating your own reality. You know, we don't have to accept a lot of the things that we do accept in life. Not everything is meant to happen that way. Some things you're allowing yourself to go through over and over again when you can simply take yourself out of that situation.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I live my life. I create the reality that I want for myself. If there's a certain way that I live, I create that for myself.
Yeah, where you dwell, mentally, where you dwell can either be your heaven or your hell. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yeah, I just came up with it. But,
did you?
Yeah, I did.
Shit.
But it's true, because it's like, you know, sometimes I talk about dark subject matter, you know. It's all truth, but with that, I've noticed over the years, sometimes doing that a bit too much without the context of improvement, you can bring more of that energy on to you.
Absolutely. Not even just without the context of improvement. Like, the more you think about it, whether it is to improve it or not, the more you think about it, the more it continues to be your current reality. You know, even when you're trying to improve something, I believe in, you know, keeping your mouth shut about the problem to begin with. Because if I keep thinking about the problem, that leaves less time for me to think about my solutions.
Yeah, so with that, it's a balance, because you can do that to the over extreme, and what happens is when you don't find an outlet to let go and release a lot, whether it be pain, anxiety, doubt, it can consume you to where everything just builds up and then.
Absolutely. Yeah, having an outlet is important. I definitely believe in that. That's why I wanted to get these videos out. I've been sitting on videos for years. How long have I been saying I want to do a YouTube, or just been doing videos of recording myself? Like, this has been in the works for a while, and it was because of all of those anxieties and things building up, being unaddressed, that I wasn't able to do it. And I did the work, and now I'm able to come and get these videos and put it out and actually get better. I'm working with people. I didn't want to work with people, but you have to. You have to. You need people.
You need some people.
You need.
You need some people. It's again, yeah, it's a balance that I feel like one of our life lessons is to learn that game of how to be balanced and keep some sanity as well as like some
ratchet.
Yeah,
Some
too.
sanity with the ratchet.
The ratchet and the righteous, right? But because if you overindulge in one or the other, it can have effects that you're not really desiring, you know.
Yeah.
And even with outlets, you gotta find outlets that are productive and healthy. You know what I'm saying?
That don't create new habits now, new unhealthy habits, because you can find an outlet, and the group that you're hanging with now, they drink a lot or they do hard drugs, and now it's like, well, this is my outlet.
Yeah, I would say personally for me, you know what I'm saying, like 10 years ago when I was staying on the north side, was with my crew of friends, you know, That's all we did a lot of, was just drinking and smoking and getting into violent altercations and doing illegal activities. And the trauma that comes with certain experiences with that, like those remnants for me over the years have been hard to shake. So like, you know, growing up, I wasn't drinking and smoking like that. You know, it'd be like once in a lifetime type deal. It wasn't until like after I got out of high school, I really started getting into that as like a daily routine. Yeah. And I know that changed me in some ways, but you know, we all go through experiences for reasons. But I say that to say, you know, even once I knew I had to separate myself and distance myself from my friends and connect with my new family as far as like actually creating my artwork and learning how to do business, like I said, them remnants of my past life, they linger on because
they linger, yeah.
They linger,
and that's real though. But we have to go through that in order to even know that it's something sometimes that we don't want, or even to snap out of it. You know, because sometimes you're enjoying it and you think this is how life should be, and then for me, it's been like this snap. Like, what are you doing? Right? And then when you get that snap, now you got to move out of that situation. And 9 times out of 10, you don't even know how. Or you don't have the tools right away. So you spend all this time pushing people away and trying to figure out how to move into the new you, if that makes sense. And it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going through another cycle of that right now. For real. I'm just keeping it 100. Yeah, it's actually a very I won't say unpredictable, but there's definitely some scary moments. I just continue to have faith that, you know, I'm doing what's right in the long run, so I'll be a better person, and not just for myself, that I can position my children and maybe at some point reconcile with like family and friends that I've fallen out with, if that's what it's meant to be. Because sometimes people are just in your life for a season, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people are just in your life for a season. Someone told me last night that, you know, they don't really try to reconcile old relationships, old situationships or whatever, because it ended for a reason. And I believe in that. I believe, you know, things ended for a reason, but sometimes the reason was me. And I gotta apologize.
Yeah.
So I do reach out in those types of situations, and I've done it maybe about 3 times so far. I'm still working on it though.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm the toxic person.
Yeah, for real.
You know, the main reason why people are toxic is because we're having difficulty resolving unresolved issues that we're stuck living in our past, or we're too worried about, you know, the future that hasn't happened yet, when we're not taking the presence of the present as a present.
Yeah, not living in the moment. And even sometimes when you're doing that though, you shouldn't be in a relationship. Not sometimes, every time. When that's happening to you, the last thing you need is
I could say, I mean,
okay, last thing you need is an unhealthy relationship. If it was a healthy relationship, then
yeah. But if you know you got these toxic issues, how likely will it be that your relationship will be healthy or remain healthy if those issues go unresolved?
That part.
That's not likely. And I just, you know, in full transparency, my issues stemming from childhood, stemming from like my mommy issues and my daddy issues, and now being a daddy myself and a zaddy sometimes, like I have to be more mindful. I have to not only be more mindful, but put in the work.
Daily work.
Like the only, like really the main thing that separates people from reaching the goals of success that they have in their mind is doing the work, because doing the work ain't sexy. Doing the work is tiresome, is redundant. It's not that it's hard though. It's not appealing, because it puts you in uncomfortable spaces where you have to. In those uncomfortable spaces, you have to grow and break out.
It's real tight right now, and you still gotta grow. I understand it completely. Doing the work is important. Full transparency. I was in therapy for a while to do the work, because I was hurting people in my life, plain and simple, and I was hurting myself. Not physically, but emotionally, definitely. I was hurting myself. I was allowing things to happen to me that was hurting me. And, it's hard. I didn't know what I was going to get out of therapy. I didn't know how it would help. But I just knew that I needed to talk to somebody. And I think my biggest thing in therapy was I got a lot out of having someone tell me, like, this is normal, this is okay. Like, you're supposed to feel this way because of this. Or, that's not supposed to happen to you. Like, having someone say that to me really changed my perspective on things, because I'm thinking, like, this is supposed to happen to me, and I'm calling all of this on myself, and, but to have someone say, like, no, this isn't normal.
Which makes it more difficult to be around the people who you love, but you know it's not good for you, because once you realize these truths, people want to still treat you like the old you, and then that creates friction. You can't coexist, and then they be like, you changed, or I can't be around you. Like,
or you set a boundary, your first boundary ever,
then you're extreme,
and then oh my gosh, you're so unreasonable. What? Okay.
You seen that meme where there's a girl lighting sage, and where it says, like, oh, if you leave the house because I burn sage, that means my sage is working. That's like a lot of times with boundaries and reinforcing, standards, and the way that you have to teach people how to treat you. And then when they're reluctant, or they still continuing to slide, and it's not just about them, it's about self as well. Because tables can be turned. We can do the same thing to others. Oftentimes it's easy to be a hypocrite and be like, well, how dare you do that? But really, our interactions with people are just more or less reflections of different parts of our personal journey and personality. So, sometimes relationships have to end, or they need to get distance in order, not only for ourselves to be better, but to give that opportunity for that other people or other person to make necessary changes for themselves.
That's heavy, because literally just was listening to something that said, if you start going into life, like, once you start anything, it automatically has an ending, whether you can see it or not. Regardless of whatever it is that you start, it has an ending. Once you go into life that way and begin to just enjoy it as it is, as it goes, then the ending isn't so painful, because you weren't expecting to hold on to it forever. And I think we get caught up in forever, and sometimes some things are just right now.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And some things that we keep putting off for later should be the right now.
Ooh, man, we're not going to keep going down this rabbit hole.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Some things we should be doing right now. We keep putting off. Get it done. Like this video that should be coming out very soon. But I had an amazing time today with Shalom. I am so grateful to have him in my studio, and I can't wait for us to do this again. All right? We have to do this again. You gotta like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. I'm gonna be putting tags in places.
Everything is my name. You know what I'm saying? You want to find me keep it short and simple. You just gotta know how to spell Shalom Little. SHALOMLITTLE. You know, and that's how you can find me, Shalom.